This video is brought to you by Nectar.
I'm Annabelle. I'm a clinical psychologist from Annabelle Psychology. When we talk about burnout, it can be burnout in areas of work, caregiving duties, and in personal romantic relationships even. So some symptoms of burnout would include things like feeling physically and mentally fatigued, a degree of cynicism and dreadedness, feeling of inadequacy, feeling very inefficient or ineffective at what you do. When we are not able to manage our stress, then over time the stress will accumulate and we would likely burn out. So some self-soothing strategies, finding out what are the activities that work for you. You need to find strategies that work across the day because you are probably not likely to be able to go for a run at 3 a.m. in the morning or even 3 p.m. in the afternoon when you're stressed. But it's also to change the way we are thinking about things. I take a more accepting approach. For example, dementia is something that is not curable. It's only learning how to manage the symptoms, and it's also understanding who the person is and what the actions are about. Take on an approach to be quite accepting that this is the behavior. We can change the way we think about things, then it will not lead to a situation where we will feel stressed, less likely end up in a state of burnout. So if the problem is the inability to say no, then the antidote is to learn skills to be more assertive, to challenge some of your myths of being assertive. If I assert myself, then I will inconvenience other people. People will not accept me or like me for who I am. These are some misconceptions of assertiveness, and we need to address them. A lot of times people might feel like I can't ask for help, or sometimes there are no help that is made available. To prevent burnout is to recognize when you need help. Don't just stick to family as your resource. It could be friends, it could be neighbors, also community resources that are available that can provide care for your family members, so that you can go out and run your errands or take a bit of time to yourself. When we take time off for ourselves, we may end up feeling guilty or our stress levels may elevate. If I draw an analogy, right, if you think about when you take the airplane, they always say that if the oxygen mask drops, you must wear your own oxygen mask before you can wear somebody else's. This is the same concept. If you can't look after yourself well, then you will not be able to look after the other person. So it needs to be a very conscious effort to challenge yourself if you are in that mind space to say that, hey, this is actually not the most helpful, because this is not going to change the fact that I've allocated this half an hour or 1 hour for myself. Sometimes there are circumstances, my suggestions would be to break it down. It doesn't have to be a block of an hour. Or when you are eating, you can eat mindfully, you can enjoy the food in that moment. One of my favorite strategies, maybe you want to buy a shower gel that is a little bit more luxurious, that is scented, one that you like and enjoy. And since you have to shower anyway, that becomes a bit of a pampering session, and that is also a way of looking after yourself. Distinguish whether you are burnout or you are just exhausted. If you are just exhausted, having a sleep, taking a rest, taking a mini vacation. Vacation doesn't necessarily mean that you need to fly out and go somewhere. Vacation could be taking a day off and resting at home and doing things that make you happy. If despite doing that you still feel burnout, the next step I would recommend would be to seek help. So to seek help can take varying degrees. You can look into engaging the help of your friends and family, talking to someone to make sense of it. If you feel like that's difficult for you to engage in, you can definitely seek professional help as well. So by seeing a psychologist or a counselor can often help with that process.
We hope this video has been useful to you. If you'd like to learn more about mental wellness, do check out our other videos.